What's going on, guys? It's Nofearbestrong here, and today I got a new video for you. In the Skype call, I got my friend Tyler. I met him through my past clan, RS Villains, and ever since then, I've been talking to him on Skype pretty much every day. Every day I live stream. I met him through my friend Alex, that was also in that clan, and we've been talking ever since. So he's just going to be in the Skype call. I just realized I did a rock lobster lure with proselyte on. No big deal. Anyways, it's going to be a Dear Jagex video. So basically what I'm going to do is this is just going to be in the point of view of us talking to Jagex on why we think the beta shouldn't happen, or the combat rework itself. Alright, so basically Tyler's going to give his point of view on it first, and I'll do mine second. So we're going to pause, get the stuff situated, the next lure, and I will come back.
So Jagex, your first flaw in the combat rework was not so much the layout, but the fact that it is more complicated. I mean, sure, it may not seem that much more complicated, seeing as you were hitting a few buttons on your keyboard, but I personally prefer the method where you can go sit down, grab your mouse, drag it over to a gargoyle, click it, two-hit it a bit, don't need to do anything fancy, and then, you get your experience. One thing I really dislike is the 50 combat levels or lower. You have a very large pure community, and they train on fairly weaker monsters in themselves. And quite a few amount of the large majority of the pures in this game actually pay for membership. So what do you think they're going to do? Just throw away the work they've done for many years? I think they're going to more so look towards a different game than just have to completely rebuild something they've put probably years of work into. Another flaw in the combat rework system is the fact that everywhere is multi-way combat. Many players have been complaining about the community for months now, and you think people are just going to change because the single-way combat was taken out of the wilderness? Hell no. You're going to see more people flaming, more people calling each other inappropriate names and whatnot, overall making the experience on this game horrible, and you're going to be to blame. Many players like the single-way combat experience. I mean, sure, it doesn't make sense how you couldn't just go up, you see someone hitting your buddy, you can't punch him in the face. But, in a way, this is a game that also is based upon magic and summoning ghosts and stuff. So, I think it would seem perfect that there is kind of a god-bound code of honor, in this sense. And I guess a compromise could be maybe level 1 to 10 wild can be single way, and everything 11 and further could possibly be multi-way if you want to go in the multi-way sense of things. Another thing that can be considered a con of this update is definitely going to be the effect on basically summoning. Many players, such as myself, have barraged lobsters, or I guess mummies as well, in the Chaos Tunnels and in the Water Birth Dungeon for charms, with things such as the protection prayers being disabled or semi-obsolete. Many players aren't going to be able to train skills as effectively as they used to, meaning that people who currently are going for 99 or goals in that skill are probably going to be upset. Another thing that also is, in my opinion, considered a very, very negative downside is the effect on one of the most popular training methods in the game. Chinchampa throwing happens to be the method I used to train range, and many players that I know have also used it. It's going to become literally impossible due to the fact that the skeleton monkeys will be able to hit through prayer and protection prayers. Yet another flaw to your rework is pretty much the requirement of adding prayers such as augury and rigor to the 70 defense requirement from the Night Waves. Many peers got this so that they could be on the top of their game with other peers. However, you're removing the reward from dungeoneering and putting it on a defense requirement. Maybe, in the sense, you could either A, refund the tokens, but also B, there could be two ways to obtain the prayer. At least, hopefully, we could gain the second way, one being from the Night Waves, or the other being the dungeoneering skill. Another thing that I view to be a negative of this update on your hands would basically be the implications to the economy and certain content such as tormented demons and glaciers. I personally have camped over 4,000 tormented demons and know what it's like to kill them, and they aren't very rewarding without the main drop of dragon claws. After the combat rework, the economic downfall is going to be that dragon claws won't be as significant of a drop anymore, and will probably not even be worth the time of many players going for it. So you're going to basically eliminate one of the most popular PvM bosses in the game that many players such as myself have considered a very, very important source of income.
Alright, well, basically, on second part, my opinion on the combat rework. There are some ups and some downs to it, and my opinion really varies on what we're talking about. There are some graphical updates that I do agree on it being pretty cool. Number one being the Talkar cow. I do know that was from one of the famous YouTubers. I don't know if it was, I'm not really exactly sure, but it was a very, very, very nice drawing that he had, and Jagex seemed to take part on it and actually use it in the game, which I like very much. I actually wouldn't mind them adding it into the game right now. But what I do not like graphically is the bandos and stuff. I do know that what they have out right now is not meant exactly for the currently coded body, you could say. I do know that the combat rework's next body is going to be meant for that that bandos, but really, like, green in the bandos doesn't really stick out that well. It's not, bandos. Bandos is usually the gray spiky stuff that everyone, is very it could stick out very well in the crowd. Everyone knows, oh, he's wearing bandos. And I feel like the green, doesn't really make it look like bandos. It makes it look more like Guthans, maybe. Yeah, but on graphical rework stuff, that's kind of all I really like.
Another big issue the combat rework brings up is something that's been around in RuneScape for as long as I can remember: bots. Now, through a couple of trial runs in the beta, I have found that if one were to simply use maybe an auto macro input, such as an auto clicker or an auto typer, you can clean herbs with the hotbar at over 30,000 herbs per hour. This means that you can get over 600k experience per hour by simply doing something such as a clean Lanadyme, which makes profit. Now, I understand Jagex might cap that, but just imagine. If one knows a lot about computers, they also know that it is no harder to imitate a keystroke than it is to imitate a click. In fact, it might be possibly easier, considering you could use such programs as a macro recorder or even an auto typer. This also brings up something. With the multi-combat all around RuneScape, bots can possibly greatly increase their money per hour, and thus causing the crash of many commonly gained commodities. They can pile green dragons, which means one person can have their bots set to be in sync and basically use their ultimates on one or two green dragons at a time and bring in more GP per hour. Despite them having more HP, they probably can't take 4 accounts with 99 strength doing a frenzy attack. This also makes me think of other negative implications that bots could bring into the game, such as, if they can utilize the hotbar as easy as we can, possibly even easier, how can we detect, sure, timing, but isn't it going to make it a little harder to detect bots? If you think about it, a person can probably smash on their keyboard at almost the exact same interval as a bot can, so are we going to be able to find a way to differentiate a superhuman click from a bot or a human click from someone such as myself? I also think that another botting related thing is this game was meant for single way, or at least from most things perspective, I think. So if you were to go to a task such as Abyssal Demons, which were heavily botted in the past, what if someone decided to be a complete and total, monstrosity, and hey, I got all the Abyssal Demons attacking on me. What are you going to do about it? I can't do my Slayer task. Even on a social Slayer task where I can do over half damage to the monster, I won't be able to get experience, and this leads to another thing, the RuneScape community. Now, if this community was the same as it was back in the day when I started playing, this might not have been so bad, but as Jagex, you guys can tell, we haven't exactly had the sweetest of relationships with each other as players. With such things such as DDoSers. Yes, DDoSers exist on this game. You don't believe me? You could go and ask anyone who PKs fairly frequently, and they would tell you that at least 30 people leaked their IP address somehow. But basically, this brings up the fact that DDoSers will probably find a way to mess you up, considering protection prayers are no longer a viable source of protection. And this also means that things such as just your average everyday troll can quite easily get on your nerves. I know it's kind of a personal problem, but trolls are a big problem in this game as well.
Alright, so my second thought on the combat rework is basically the dual wielding concept. I really, really like it, but then again, RS is really like made for, the good old whip shield, whip dragon defender slash defender. Back in the day they didn't have dragon defenders. Magic abilities that you could just, wear a book and a staff. Range abilities that you could, obviously wear a shield and your crossbow, or maybe just a book and some darts. That's really what I like about RuneScape, and I don't want it to change. But I do agree that, adding the dual wielding concept into it is pretty cool. My first time trying the beta, I actually went in and automatically put on dual rapiers because, rapier is my favorite weapon in the game. And it was actually really fun, but it's RuneScape, Jagex. People play the game for the reason of it being RuneScape, not for something that it's going to be turning into, sort of like World of Warcraft and other games that have action bars. That's the one thing I really, really don't like, is the fact that RuneScape is going to be going away. It's not going to be RuneScape anymore. It's going to be pretty much a new RuneScape, if it even keeps the name of RuneScape, to be honest. It's not the same game at all. It has action bars, which I do not like. It has stuff that's going to be it's going to be added into the game, and it's not going to make it RuneScape. I know I kind of just repeated myself multiple times, but I really do want to get that point through to say that the game won't be what it was. It's going to be something completely different, and I can guarantee you that over 75% of the RuneScape community actually want to keep what is actually happening right now, just normal RS2. I mean, this is the way I like it, Jagex. I like being able to run through these rock lobsters. I like being able to barrage them and not have to worry about spamming abilities and having to worry about adrenaline and stuff like that. I just want to be able to, enjoy the game of what I've played for the past 8 years of my life. I've had multiple accounts, and I don't really want this to happen. There are other methods, not other methods, my bad, other concepts that I would like to talk about. Right now in RuneScape, there really is two good shields that are really out, and people tend to like to use a lot. That would be Elysian Spirit Shield and Divine. Obviously Arcane if you're going to be doing a lot of magical attacks, but in reality everyone knows that LE slash Divine is the best way to go for PVM. This is basically, the video is basically on PVM point of view. We did throw a couple pure standards in there and stuff, so you guys are included in there. But Elysian and Divine are really the two big shields in the game, and I feel like just, switching it over to Divine being melee and range being LE, I don't really like it that way. I like it the other way around, where you could just use both for either way. Also, it's kind of just a downgrading ability. The Bando's Kite Shield and the Dragon Fire Shield aren't going to be really shields that you'll see a lot in the game unless you're a really lower level. But then again, this is speaking for a max point of view, people that are max combat and people that are 200 combat level that would be in the combat rework. People are going to be running around with LEs and Divines, and these combat shields like Dragon Fire Shield and stuff like that, they're not going to be really something that would be useful in the game besides for lower levels. And I don't really like the fact that you guys are just making Elysian for range and just making Divine for melee. I'm sure Tyler would have a different point of view on it, but really, in my opinion, I like the way that you could use Ellie for melee or range, and you could use Divine for melee or range. It both works anyway. That's really just how I like it.
In conclusion, I believe the combat rework in its current state, allowing us only to choose to play the current new combat system instead of the current combat system, would be a very bad mistake on your part, Jagex. I believe that RuneScape should have many ways to play it, as it has been in the past. You could choose to be a skiller, a PKer, a PVMer. I believe that we should also have the choice between playing the new combat system or the current combat system seen in the live game. You said you want to see variety in players. Why not have a variety in your game? You may say, oh, it will divide the community. I do not think so. I do believe it will give players different experiences. You could choose to be a classic player and say, oh, I played back then when we had the good combat system. Well, not the good combat system, they both have their pros and cons. But you could say, I played with the simple combat system. Or if you're a real achievement goer, I guess you could say, I went in the new combat system. But allow us to have the freedom to choose which system to play. It's kind of like going to a candy store. You know, some people just choose to pick their old favorites, and they want to continue to. Or they could try the new one, but they'll always keep coming back to the original. So, Jagex, from the bottom of my heart, please allow us to currently play the system that is in place as of this moment, the date this video is uploaded. Not the beta, but the actual live game. I believe that if this system were to stay in place, the current system, I would still be playing for membership when I'm 42. So, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Something else that I find very, very, I would say smart in Jagex's behalf, I would really suggest, since RS Classic came out, we all know that you took it from RS Classic back in 1999 up until, 2002? You took it from that to RS2, yet you still kept the RS1 server. I believe this was brought up multiple times in the forums, and I do believe that you guys have declined this offer multiple times. I really don't see why. If anything, it would make you guys more money, which you guys seem to love, by the way. But really what I do suggest is you did keep RS1, you kept RS2 good, you had both servers, and everyone was able to access both if they wanted to access different ones. Now what I think you should do is for the combat rework, make RS3. I bet you a lot of people would really agree with this, mainly because maybe 25% of RS, as I think I said earlier, maybe 25% of RS actually want to see this update. Maybe 25% of people are interested in seeing something similar to World of Warcraft and all the other games that are like this. But then, 75% of your fans that have been here, maybe like 40 to 50% of them being here for, 5 to 6 plus years, being veterans of this game, I think then people have a bigger say in it because, we've been the people that have been giving you our $5.95 to $8 a month. I feel like we have a bigger say than the people that have, played the game since about 2011. Our words should, be bigger font in your eyes, to use just, different, speech. But just in my opinion, I think an RS3 would be a great way of keeping the game going and staying alive. Now, you guys might not get as much money off the combat rework as you would off RS2, but if you really think about it, all the people that want to stay on RS2 are going to stay, and they're going to continue paying the $7.95 a month that they pay for RS2. And then maybe if you guys really want RS3 and maybe 20% of RS really want the combat rework, you can maybe charge them $15 is what World of Warcraft charges Blizzard, and they charge $14.99 per month for 1 month, obviously. And I feel like that would be a fair trade to us, because the people that have been paying $8 a month, $7.95 for the past 8 years, I mean, I've had my on and off breaks, but I'm pretty sure I've given you guys over $1,000. But that $1,000 is pretty much saying keep the game, don't change it. No one wants it to happen, Jagex. I honestly can say that I love your company. You guys do come up with some bad ideas, and I will agree with that. This is a Dear Jagex video, and I'll be completely honest with you. You guys do have bad updates, but everyone has mistakes, and we all forgive and forget. I really do think that you guys should stick with RS2 and maybe make an RS3 server. It would be great for your company, it'd be great for your players, and it would pretty much just say from you to us that we do appreciate you buying membership, we do appreciate your company. We want you to play the game, we don't want you to quit. That's what you'd be saying to us. And what we'd be saying to you is thank you so much, because Everyone loves RuneScape 2. Everyone loves going to Bandos and just using one attack style, maybe getting a lucky claw spec in there. Everyone loves going to Slayer and not having to worry about people attacking your Slayer monsters and having to share Slayer task. Everyone loves Edge PKing. Everyone loves Darok PKing. And now what's it going to be? Like 7-on-7 Darok PKing, smacking back to back like 7Ks on people? No one wants that. Everybody wants to see, one-on-one Darok fights, a whip fight with a Bandos monster, team with chaotic rapiers at Bandos. It's just like no one wants to see dual chaotics with action bars smacking like 9Ks and stuff. We all want to stay with RuneScape 2. I can guarantee you that if I could put a poll on this video and I could get the poll out to every single RuneScape player, I bet you it would be 90% likes, 10% dislikes. Nobody wants this to happen, Jagex. Please listen to us. I feel like my word counts as like all 2 million people that have made counts, or that are usually active on a weekly basis. I'd say about 2 million people are active. No one wants this to happen. No one really wants it to happen. Just please listen to us. Do it for your company. You guys are going to lose a lot of money off this. And that's really all I have to say for now. Alright, basically in second conclusion, me and Tyler both agree that the combat rework could be good for some people, it could be bad for some people, but we really do want to just see RS2, RS3, and maybe RS1 if you do want to keep that. But in reality, we just want to play our RuneScape that we like, and other people that would enjoy the combat rework, you guys can go play that. But we really just want to stay on what we have been on for 5 years plus. I'm pretty sure Tyler has played for a long time. I've played for 8 years plus myself. It's nice just to go out in the wilderness and PVM and just do simple attacks like a little melee ability, run in, do a mage ability. I just mix them up, but it's whatever. We all make our mistakes, just like I said, Jagex does, and I do believe that you guys should really take some thought into this video, and if not, many people others' videos and other people's rants, that this game does deserve to have a second chance. We don't need to get rid of RS2. It's a great game. The economy might be bad. You guys might have added some things in here that we don't like, but in reality, it's a game that we've all played and tossed our money onto for years into time. So I do believe that it should stay, and you guys should honestly add an RS3 in instead of getting rid of RS2 and just completely taking over what we have right now. I'm going to give Tyler some final words, and that will be the end of the video.
This game has been a game I've played for many years. I've seen it evolve, but overall the simplicity has stayed. I could do something such as this, simply click to kill a guard, and I don't have to worry about spamming 1 through 8. I like it that way. Other players may not, but many of us do prefer to simply just click for combat, and maybe, I don't know, switch to Dragon Claws or an Armadillo Godsword. So Jagex, I hope you took in our points into consideration, and I hope you continue to make good decisions of this game in the future, and I look forward to be playing, gaining experience and boss drops on the current combat system.
Alright guys, so that's pretty much the end of the video. Me and my friend Tyler just decided to put together a video to Jagex. If you really didn't catch the concept of it, it was kind of just a letter to Jagex in video form. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got the point of it, and I hope you guys all agree, really. None of us really want this to happen, and we really hope that Jagex doesn't put through with it the way they are planning on it. Maybe take some of our ideas into consideration, and it might not be as bad. But that's pretty much it for the video. I'm going to end it there. Please comment, like, subscribe. Comment if you have any suggestions. Like the video if you like the video. And, of course, subscribe if you like my videos and you want to continue seeing them. I'm Nofearbestrong. That's the end of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.